These creatures really scale in power.
Only shooting stars break the mold.
Hello everybody and welcome to Brawl Stars. I'm Amy the Amazonian and today I'm playing with Felothar, Dawn of the Abzan. When she enters or attacks, you can sacrifice a non-land permanent and put a +1/+1 counter on each of your creatures. That goes great with things that enter the battlefield and do something so you can recycle them later, turn them into counters, cards that replace themselves when they die, cards that scale in ability as they scale in power, and all of the cards that turn your counters into more counters, commonly known as scales, for hardened scales. We've also got some cards that will be recycling those +1/+1 counters if creatures die, increasing our counters with proliferation, or just, you know, being really awesome. More proliferation, more card draw, and some of these permanents that actually really want to be sacrificed because they trigger when they are sacrificed. Felothar is full of carrot cake, and this deck is full of things that make tokens, things that make scales, and really cool cards that can hit hard, hit fast, and go wide. So let's take Felothar into the queue and see if we can bring a scale or two. Zurgo Stormrender. When your tokens die in combat, as they attack in, you draw a card. And if they die outside of combat, your opponent loses a life. I like this start because it's kind of weird. It has ramp that's sacrificable. This Kami of Bamboo Groves will let me put in an additional land. Oh, they're saying hi. Hi! And then I also have the ability to either like play Felothar off that, or Kutzil, or Dollmaker's Shop. I really want to try to play this Dollmaker's Shop if I can here. I'm not too worried about, like, counter spells, so don't really want to go for Kutzil. Instead, I want to go wide. So Dollmaker's Shop, swing in, get a little buddy, and then I'll play this as a land. Like the Jisa wave emote. I usually use this as my, like, yay, hello, or my howdy. Nesting bot. They've started their engines. When it dies, it makes a token. When this enters, it makes a token. We are not the same. Felothar sacrificing this clue token. Everybody gets a +1/+1. And I'll swing in and get myself a toy. Nice. Preacher to Schisms. Got Death Touch. It's a 2/4. But like, I still want to hit things. I'll let you kill one of my things freely. Make a toy. Kill a toy. Everybody in. Preacher to Schism. Take your pick. And Kutzil will have me draw a card since a creature with a higher power than its starting power dealt some damage. Thank you, Kutzil. You're so cute. A zillion cutes. Creature's cool, though. If they have less life than me, it will be making a vampire token. Elspeth. Oh, do you make 2 blockers or do you fly? Or do you attack with the Preacher, make the 2 tokens because she doubles them? No, they just killed Felothar. I mean, you could still attack in with the Preacher. They did not. This is the most lethal of moves. We attack in. Make a bonus toy. And the minimum each one of these is hitting for is 6. Take him out with a couple of dolls. GG, Zurgo. Azusa lost, but seeking is going to be seeking lands, allowing you to play extra ones each turn and then cast big spells. The biggest, greenest, and colorlessest spells you could ever see. I'm going to play a Shambling Ghast. If it dies, I can either give something -1/-1 or make a treasure to saying hi. Hey, how you doing? And my cat is screaming at me from the doorway. Hello, Scraps. Yes, it's very nice to see you scream at me. These will both start spitting out things. I prefer Dollmaker's Shop. And I want to play Hangerback Assembler, even though like starting my engines now is cool. A little later, because I actually plan on sacrificing the Assembler. Though with the toys, that is more artifacts for me to start buffing up. They didn't play any turn 1 ramp, which is, I suppose, good for me. Scraps, would you like to come up here? Instead of just like staring at me like a little weirdo. I could sacrifice this to make the treasure. I'm going to sacrifice the toy. The tokens to me are worth less. Well, come on up. You are so small. Yeah, you. Yeah, you. There we go. Here's Scraps. And here's Azusa. Gonna spit out 2 additional lands. It's surprising to see in Azusa that does not ramp on turn 1, but I guess if they don't have it, they just don't have it. I will bring out Ozolith to make more counters. So I think this should enter in as a 2/2. Excellent. And I'll swing in with everything. Make the toy first. Then sacrifice the toy to grow all of these. An additional 2 power and toughness on each of these creatures. Yeah, if they had played like a Llanowar Elf or something and I had the ability to sacrifice the Ghast and kill it, that's probably a move I would have taken. That's part of why it's in the deck. As we go wide. As we go wide and scratch Kitty on the head. She loves it. So they have 6 lands in play right now. That's enough for some pretty darn good creatures. But I am wide, growing, and like this Hangerback Walker's getting better every day. You want to kill Shambling Ghast? You want to kill Hangerback Walker? I'll actually get more out of it if you do. You turned 4 power and toughness into 4 power and toughness, which means each of them will get a +1/+1 counter unless you have a 1-mana fight spell taking out Felothar off another land. No, it doesn't look like it. Well, that's just great. So I'll put an additional counter on you because you have Trample. I'm going to play Skrelv's Hive because I can. I'm going to attack with everyone. I'm going to sacrifice Skrelv's Hive because I'm not using it. More counters. More death. So that's a nice, classy little, what, like 30 damage coming in? It's a good amount. Love to see it. GG, Azusa. Eshki, Temur's Roar. If they cast a creature, they're going to be getting +1/+1 counters. And card draw. And damage. This hand's a little funky because it does not have white mana. I could technically ramp, but I don't have any guarantee I'm going to draw another piece. So I'm going to throw it back, even though it has that Hangerback Walker. And this hand doesn't have anything on turn 1. That's all right. Turn 2, I've got Conclave Mentor, Marionette Apprentice, or just a Signet. But since I have all 3 colors, I'll probably go for Apprentice into Felothar. Or Apprentice into Signet, Conclave Mentor into Felothar, sacrificing the Signet, buffing everything. Evolution Sage is also pretty sweet. Ooh, especially with a land. I do like a land. Here comes Marionette Apprentice, going wide, making a token. And if my creatures or artifacts go to the grave, I get to drain their life a little bit. Now I'm feeling the setup here. See how they have blue and then blue again? That's what we say in the biz, is it counterspell? It's counterspell mana. It was mana drain too, which is like, ugh, that's the counterspell you don't want to see. At least their commander specifically only wants colored mana. So right now, they'd probably be using it for something other than their commander. Oh, Fabled Passage. It's going to bring in a tapped land since they only have 3 total. Peps, what are you staring at? That's you. That's you on the screen. Oof, Wary Zone Guard gets the land back untapped. That's such a good card. And now they still potentially have counterspell mana up. And I do not like that. I want to play Felothar. Eat the servo. Drain them for a life. And swing in for 2. I've got 5 mana. I hate to do it, but I think it's the right move. I'm going to trade into Wary Zone Guard so they stop getting lands. It's like, it's not what you want. Hi, Roxanne. You're scary, too. Very scary. Playing the Brush Stroke. And I'm using up a potential landfall here. Conclave Mentor. And passing the turn. Next turn, I can sacrifice the Blood. I could sacrifice the Brush Stroke. I could Evolution Sage and proliferate just the Apprentice. That's probably not what I want to do yet. I think it's going to be Felothar and a sacrifice. So with 3 different creatures here, Conclave Mentor is going to get taken out, so I cannot increase the number of counters I get. But I do get 2 drains, which is nice. Oh my god, Scraps, you're so sweet. Eshki. With 5 mana. Right, because Roxanne doubles the mana from that. So they'll draw a card, get a +1/+1 counter. No damage dealt, though, since it didn't have 6 power. But this will be able to attack and block, which, boo! That early counterspell did so much. Help me, Felothar. Oh, these are still alive. Please. And I'm going to hold the land for now. They could swing in, kill the Blood Artist. They'd lose 2. Ooh, Uro. That will get all 3 triggers. So they get a counter, draw a card. They'll draw another card. They dealt 4 damage. They'll gain 3 life. What's this? The Final Fantasy Swords revealed a new Azorius legend that is a 2-mana 2/2 lifelink with the ability at the beginning of your end step. Each opponent mills X card, X is the amount of life you gained this turn. Whose card is that? I'm trying to think, like, what legend from Final Fantasy I would give that text to. No! Monkey! Oh, it's Hope? From 13? I didn't play 13, so I don't know who that is. What a rude monkey. Ruining all my plans. And what next, Roxanne? Are you gonna swing and throw a rock at my Blood Artist? Are you gonna double... Oh no, that's not the double power, Ronus. Hoo-hoo, for I have nothing to proliferate. All I have is pain. I could trade with Roxanne. But I don't think I'm getting out of this one. That's too bad. Evolution Sage. This cool goblin I found in the trash. A land. Make her bigger. And then lose the game. That's all I got. I can't gain a meaningful amount of life. I can't make them lose a meaningful amount of life. And all of this is happening. Plus the ability to give things trample. Scraps, are you leaving because I'm losing? You don't want to hang out with a loser? That's okay. I wouldn't want to hang out with me either. Okay, well, they're going to kill me off Eshki's trigger. You could have also swung in with Roxanne. Lots of ways to take me out. And I die. GG. Yarok the Desecrated. Yarok is going to be duplicating Enter the Battlefield abilities. I only have green mana in this hand unless I get another land. Not great. Not really what I want, even though these cards are awesome. I love Carrot Cake. And I'll keep this instead. We got a command tower into this little hobbit who can give me an uncounterable Felothar. And I wouldn't be sacrificing this. I think I'd just be waiting. Like, I'll take a 3-mana 3/3 with trample. Sure, why not? Leafkin Druid. All right, we've got ourselves a Bitter Blossom here. An itty-bitty Bitter Blossom. And I'll swing in with both. I'm not sacrificing anything because I want those tokens. Potentially to sacrifice the tokens or sacrifice the enchantment itself, or if I'm like going for a really kind of short and aggressive move. Evolution Witness. Nice. If I sacrifice Bitter Blossom, I'd be able to bring it back and play it again. That sounds good to me. I could also go for Elspeth here to double this, but I kind of feel like there might be, I don't know, like a counterspell or something here. Polluted Delta, what you got? Subtlety, they're gonna put it back on top of my deck. And that was a full cost Subtlety. I am going to fully destroy it. Put that back on top of my deck. I like it where it is. Swinging with Felothar, and I am actually thinking I want to sacrifice this Bitter Blossom and like go for broke next turn. But worried about more counterspells, am I? A little bit. We've seen one. I'm gonna hit the Bitter Blossom. That means I won't be getting the token next turn, but I should be able to bring it back with Evolution Witness if I go for that line, or I could just like Elspeth huge damage in the air. Yeah, that would be... If I use the 0 ability, and they're tapped out here. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Not quite lethal. Dang it. Okay, so I'm going to go for the Evolution Witness line. Don't you hate when it's just, like, not quite enough? Yum, yum, yum. Permanent Returnament. Care to block? You have lifelink, Death Touch. No? Okay. Play that. Do this. Now, hopefully they don't go for, like, a piece of removal doubled, but they absolutely could. Yarok is so strong. I could have also used Elspeth to just kill Yarok, which may have been the smart move since their other creature's 0 power. We'll see how messed up I get here. Are you Casualties of War? Okay, well that doesn't actually, like, do a thing with Yarok, but it does set me back in a kind of rude way. Rude. I could have left that in the graveyard to bring back with Evolution Witness. I think because they're tapped out, I will not bother with the Halfling. I'm just gonna kill Yarok. Revenge! And swing in for 6. Prime Time gets them lands. But I have lethal on the board right now. I've got the 2 attackers, which I can give flying. I can even give them flying and then sacrifice Elspeth to get even more damage. They may have gained 2, but I don't think that's going to be enough. I'll use the 0. They fly. Oh, sweet. Free Bitter Blossom. Felothar. Do I think they have a fog? No. Make him bigger. Oh, great. I can grab the Elspeth back. We love looping value here. At least I like looping value. GG, Yarok. Felothar, Dawn of the Abzan. Hey, wait. That's my commander. I will be playing a mirror match, which might actually give me a great opportunity to get some inspiration. See what they did in their deck and maybe make some appropriate changes to my own based on that. I have a really nice start, though. I love getting the Avacyn's Pilgrim. I probably would be going for Felothar in turn 2, but for, like, a circus of value. We love cards. I love cards. I have a Colony Garden, which I can use to make a sacrificable plant. Basking Broodscale, which when it gets a counter, can get me more counters. And a Fatal Push. So I have a pretty limited amount of removal in my deck. No Fatal Pushes here. Because I want it to be really aggro. Carrot Cake! I have Carrot Cake in my deck, though. I think it's good here. What? It didn't click the cycle. But sure. Birds of Paradise and Shambling Ghast. Next turn, if they play Felothar, sacrificing the Carrot Cake gets them another Scry, another Rabbit, and encounters on all their creatures. And she's serving up Carrot Cake at the party, going wide and getting huge. Absolutely massive. Cool Ozolith. Make a plant. Eat a plant. Also considered eating the Shambling Ghast, so I could get a mana and play Ozolith to just kind of like protect the value on my board. The way that Ozolith triggers is cute too, because you can move the counters from it and sacrifice it to Felothar. Revival of the Ancestors. It makes spirits. It puts counters, gives trample and lifelink, sacrifices itself, but you could always sacrifice it after chapter 2 to just, like, get more counters on stuff. I could go for a double block here. I also want to do Felothar things. Time of Whispered Hopes to turn counters into more counters. I'll swing in with my Felothar. And the Shambling Ghast, though, I'm going to be sacrificing it here. Yes, I would. Thank you. Kami of Whispered Hopes is a scales effect. Alright, they're going to trade 2 of their creatures into Felothar. Oh, or not. I'm going to use this treasure instead of the spawn here. For Ozol... One second. I was still in combat. It was asking if I wanted to adapt the brood scale. No, I don't. It's nice of you to ask, though. They're trying to decide how to put their counters. Looks like they want to put things on Felothar because, like, she's the one with trample. She's the one who's getting the damage in. There's 7. I would maybe sacrifice it. It kind of depends on, like, if they want to take the offensive or not. Right now, like, they're not as empty-handed as I am. Ooh, Treacherous Blessing. What a fun thing to get to sacrifice. It'll draw them more cards. And then you could just swing in and sack it. I thought about putting it in my deck, but I felt like maybe it was a little too slow. And Luminarch Aspirant, just like a great scales card. It puts counters on things. Like the best of us. Boop. Everybody's coming in. Now, let's see. That looks like it could be lethal. I've got 20, and this is exactly 20 here. So we'll reduce it to 4. Ozolith will get the counters. Then I can move the counters. I'm trying to see if I have, like, a potential lethal off, especially sacrificing Ozolith here, because they're going to get that big trample lifelink. But I could get the untap otherwise. If we move the counter onto things with trample here, yep. Swing in with everything. Eat the Ozolith. They each get 2 counters. Yeah, I think that's just lethal. Felothar is too big, too fast, too furious. Don't even need this virtue, but hey, an untap would give me some blocks. That could be cool. They're just calculating. All right, let me do the math for you here. So that absorbs 2 damage off Felothar, or 5 damage from this. You're taking 17 if you block this, and you're taking 20 if you block Felothar. You have 15 life. 17, more than 15. Are you soul roping me? Come on, dude, we're playing the same commander. I was gonna respect you. But you clearly don't want respect, do ya? Fine. I'm gonna say, what in tarnation? I could do this all day. And then I'm gonna blow a kiss, blow a kiss, blow a kiss, blow a kiss, sprinkle some salt, sprinkle some salt, sprinkle some salt, blow a kiss, blow a kiss, blow a kiss, blow a kiss. I was just happy to run into another Felothar because I don't think she's like the best commander. So I thought it was like, oh, cool, somebody else is trying this. I made this today. It's got like a weird sacrifice sub-theme. Wonder how they built theirs. More scales, less scales, more things to sacrifice that aren't creatures, fewer things to sacrifice. I'm not sure. But they clearly don't actually want to play. They don't care unless they win. Poor manners, Felothar. Poor manners. Jansen, Chaos Crafter. Jansen turns artifacts of one type into artifacts of another type. You sacrifice non-creatures to make creatures, and creatures to make non-creatures. He also should hopefully die to nowhere to run. I don't have a lot of removal, but that should hit. Ooh, Hangerback Assembler. That's actually such a good card. It's based on a number of counters. So even if I know where to run that, it would persist. So I will play a Winding Constrictor with the hopes of using 2 pieces of removal next turn, one on Jansen and one on the Hangerback Walker. I can block. Blocking's good. With my little scale creature. It's a snake. It literally has snails. Snails? Scales. Great at words. I'll use Nowhere to Run. And I have a feeling that they would rather get rid of this than get rid of this for their sacrifices, because this is just such an all-star of a card. And because I do not, in any way, shape, or form, want them to increase their speed, I'm hitting. I know they could, like, play Jansen and attack me, but I don't know if they would. What is Jansen's usual deck line? Artifact Sacrifice? Artifact Go Wide? Artifact Tokens? This is great. My brother is asking if I'll be at Anime Boston. Like, hey, you're a nerd. You're a nerd. Are you gonna go to the Nerd Festival? Maybe. What's it to you? Getting down the Waystone Steins before Felothar would be awesome, but I just want to make sure I am getting some damage in. So I'll buff this up. Winding Constrictor giving itself additional counters, but only once per turn, right? Does he want something from the anime convention? I don't think so. My brother doesn't watch anime. He just teaches Japanese. And also teaches English to Japanese speakers. He can do both. It's also Boston Calling. Oh wait, is Anime Boston this weekend? He's probably just like, hey, what you doing? You want to hang out? Or are you at the nerd festival? Aw, dang it. Tithing Blade? R.I.P. Whining Constrictor. Bolus the Citadel allows you to pay life to play cards off the top of your deck. Oops. I made the speed go up. I forgot about that, even though I mentioned it specifically earlier. Ozolith. Nope. Waystone's guidance into this will not give the Blood Artist mobilize. Oh, hey, Elspeth. Aw, rip Felothar. Oh, look, they'd be able to increase the speed anyway. Trying to decide if I just want to, like, throw down Felothar. Nothing to sacrifice. She cannot sacrifice. She can't sacrifice herself. I was gonna say, so she can't sacrifice a land. I feel like she should be able to sacrifice a land. Oh, what's that 3 extra mana from? Oh, Dark Ritual. Must be on top of their deck. Bart, a free sacrifice outlet, can sacrifice artifacts or creatures. Lunarch Veteran gaining them some of this life back. They go down to 2, back up to 5, down to 5, up to 6. And of course, Elspeth can make all of these flying or double up some tokens. And any tokens that they make will also get doubled by Ocelot Pride, which could get them very easily 10 sacrificable permanents if they want to, I don't know, make a mess of my board. They're sacrificing the monkey to change what's on top of their deck. And also tutor for a card. What's the card that they get? Aetherflux Reservoir, because of Reservoir with the Citadel means that they could go near infinite, drawing out every card in their deck. Reckless Handling, they're going to tutor for an artifact. I'm guessing they usually just do this combo. I don't like that this is what you're doing in the deck. I get it. This just goes in the deck. This just goes in the deck because it doubles your tokens. Like Mondrak also in Jansen is great. 35. Just a couple more. I'm almost dead. One more spell. And... good game. Okay, no, you don't need to keep casting. Thank you. Tatyova, Benthic, Druid, landfall, draw a card, gain a life. I've got a Doomed Traveler to sacrifice. Virtue of Loyalty can spit out another token. I can make them sacrifice something with a Momentum Breaker. This seems like an okay start to me. I also have a sweet little Moogle. Yay. Yay, Moogles. Alright, Tatyova. What's it gonna be? Ramp? I'm just guessing. Because it's usually a lot of ramp. Turn 1, Breeding Pool into Llanowar Elf. Alright, I see your Llanowar Elf. And I'll raise you a... One moment. I gotta get the right land here. With the Orzhov one. There we go, Godless Shrine. And I raise you a Swords to Plowshares. Always bolt the bird. Always sword the elf. Llanowar Scout. This puts lands into play. It also is going to get sacrificed to my Momentum Breaker. Speed up! I need to stop ramp. Ramp's scary. I can't stop that one. Hi, Uro. Get the Doomed Traveler. And then I'll play the Virtue of Loyalty after. Or I guess Arnvale Fealty. They're at enough to just play Tatyova here. They're ramping, they're ramping, they're ramping. Broken Bond on the Momentum Breaker. I can technically deny them putting the land in, but like they don't really want to put the land in right now. Do they? I guess they do. I mean, I would save it for Tatyova, but sure. They made it harder for me to get in more damage this next turn, but not impossible. I will bolt in this, play the Novice Inspector. Then Felothar is coming down. I can either sacrifice the Clue, Doomed Traveler. I feel like I want to hit the Doomed Traveler, even though it's a little bit less damage here, because it's going to get me a flyer that will grow. Tatyova doesn't fly. They will be able to probably bring out Uro pretty soon if they have a couple more spells to cast. But here's Tatyova followed by a land, just a guess. She draws a card, gains a life. Ooh, Adeline. Adeline. Fill the Profane. They can just replay it. I know what I want. I crave Violence. I'm going to sacrifice the Clue. Everybody gets a buff. Just a proper damage slammage of playing Virtue of Loyalty. Untap, and they grow again. Nice. And we win, because taking extra turns didn't actually, you know, do anything. Sometimes it's just a 5-mana Explore. And if you don't get a land off the Explorer and Tatyova's your commander, you don't win. I don't know what they did have in hand, though. If not victory. Good game? Necrobloom is a different sort of Abzan, going to be doing some landfall, and also dredging up lands. I didn't have all my colors in that hand, and I had no spells I could actually play, so I like this hand a lot more. It's got a Birds of Paradise to get me some fixing, Carrot Cake to eat, Shambling Ghast to eat, Hopeful Vigil to eat. Lots of good edibles here, and then something to proliferate those +1/+1s. Deathrite Shaman can munch up those lands from the graveyard and get more mana. Is it just an Abzan kind of day? I guess so. I'll start with my ramp over, since I just drew this Esper Sentinel. I was thinking, like, do I want to throw that out? Not really. You have a free spell. Noxious Revival. Interesting. Okay. I forgot that's even in Arena. It is. Yeah, Necrobloom's great because it's a landfall card that, like, can guarantee you getting a landfall because you can replace your draws with self-milling and getting things back. Okay, so Deathrite Shaman exiles that fetch land from the graveyard, and I get Loot, who lets you play additional lands each turn. Here comes the additional land, Cabaret Courtyard, which sacrifices itself. I assume you're going to grab a Plains to round out your colors. Reluctant Role Model could also be good here. Something that would be able to maybe fly. Speaking of flying, I have that Grateful Apparition. So I think I'll go for it. Grateful Apparition and Esper Sentinel. I don't really want to play Felothar there. There's nothing for me to follow up with. It's Felothar. She wouldn't do anything. They're exiling that Cabaret Courtyard, getting themselves enough mana for Necrobloom. Really trying to maximize their landfalls? No! They played Necrobloom first and then the land. Which feels weird to me, because, like... Yeah, maybe they had to, like, leave up a color for some reason. I don't know. Landfall's happening. Windswept Heath. I want to make sure I have all my colors in my lands, not just my Birds of Paradise, so I will grab the Godless Shrine. Use that to play Shambling Ghast. Bring out Felothar. Sacrifice this ghast. I will make a treasure, since there's nothing that would die from it otherwise. And swing in with the Grateful Apparition to start proliferating. If it hits a player or planeswalker, we're going to get some +1/+1s. They're choosing to recur this Obscure Storefront. They have enough mana to activate loot. They've also self-milled. Ooh, I was about to say, I'm sure they have other ways to just play lands from their graveyard, like Crucible of Worlds. And they now have... Oh, they're still at 6 lands. I thought they were at 7. Nope, 6 lands, so they don't start making zombies until 7. An Abrupt Decay. They can pay the 3. There goes my Proliferate engine. It's okay, I deserve that. Ooh, Waystone's Guidance. That's a cool one. Carrot Cake would be my sacrificable thing. Or this. Getting tokens off that would be cool. Maybe we should have double cast these. I think that would have been better. Here comes Carrot Cake. Delicious, delicious cake. It makes a bunny. Nothing funny. It will get me a scry. Hello? It's like I recognize after playing this. Oh wait, I'm not gonna have good attacks. Because they're doing this. They're walled up. Land's good, but not what I want right now. They do have 4 power between all their blockers. Swinging in with just these 2. And eating up that cake. Yum, yum, yum. A rabbit and a scry. Untapped land is fine. Lets me double spell these. And that'll spell danger for my opponent. They could just chump block with Necrobloom. No, it has trample. It has trample to block with Necrobloom. Okay, fine. They take more damage. Maybe they were afraid of me doing something else after. The plants are pretty expendable, too, until they, like, Greater Hoof Behemoth. So they did not choose to dredge up a land. Instead, they drew, and now they're activating loot. Any creature in the top 6 cards that has a mana value of 6 or less can be put into play. And I'm guessing they have choices, because it was asking. And they hit a creature to let them play lands off the top and play additional lands. They can play now 3 lands per turn. So, yup. Oh, that's a 3rd one. Oh, that's a doozy. And they're making zombies. Oh my, oh goodness. Birds of Paradise, please help me. A Hopeful Vigil. A Reluctant Role Model. Which will at least let me move my counters off dying creatures, which is very, very good here. I'll be sacrificing the Hopeful Vigil and attacking with everything. Everybody that can attack does! What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you making more zombies? I understand. However, please stop. However, please stop. Alright, sacrifice Hopeful Vigil. When it's put into the graveyard, I do get to scry. Which is cool with Felothar. Alright, Colony Garden. Elspeth. It's Elspeth. It's Elspeth. 100% every single time I have the chance to play her. So right now, anything that is blocked and killed, Reluctant Role Model will let me move its +1/+1 counters onto Birds of Paradise. Or something else. Probably Birds of Paradise, though, because it's like... once again, this does have trample. I don't know why this person's, like, so allergic to the trample here, but, like, if I have Elspeth, I could just give everything flying swing in. Yeah, since they blocked this with something with almost no toughness, But Birds of Paradise. If I could just win off this attacking, that'd be cool. They can gain some life by exiling a creature from a graveyard. There's one right there. Is there an answer? This will give them potentially tons of damage, but only if they get lots of landfall. We have one landfall. They can shuffle the top of their deck. I don't know what's in your hand. Maybe they're just like, I'll give myself the one. All right, so Birds of Paradise gets killed. I would not actually like a basic land. That's crazy, dog. I know I'm not able to play this anymore. I don't care. I have Felothar. She has Trample. Reluctant role models swinging in. They're like, eh? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Make another zombie. And give everything +1/+1 in vigilance. Maybe? I don't know. I think I'm sacrificing Waystone's Guidance over the mobilized tokens here. Because when those die, I can move their counters if the role model is still alive. Because I think they're going to have to put a lot in front of Felothar. Oh, but then I lose out on damage. Okay, so how many blockers are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I only need 1 damage. So, cool. Gaming. Muldrotha the Gravetide. Recast permanents from your graveyard. Once of each type. Once a turn. I've got pretty nice stuff here. I'll probably need to name Human on Cavern of Souls. But what if I name Warrior instead? Okay, I'm gonna bolt that in. Because I have a Swords to Plowshares, and if they play any sort of ramp like that, I want to get rid of it. I think I'm naming Warrior. They can no longer counter spells on my turn. Doc. Ritual. What are you doing with 5 mana? Sheoldred? Oh goodness, it is Liliana who makes the zombies. Or reanimates things. There's a Vorinclex in the graveyard. I'm a little worried about that. Warrior. I'll attack Liliana with my Voice of Victory and its 2 bestest buds in the whole wide world. One of my bestest buds in the whole wide world will die, but the other one will give its life in service of the Voice of Victory. Boop. Problem, if this Vorinclex comes out, I don't get counters anymore. Help. Like, Felothar stops doing anything. Yeah, you have a reanimate right here. Okay, so we're +1 becomes a +2. Hi, Vorinclex. Yeah, it's fine, guys. It was just like, what, a turn... Yeah, it's great. Just a bright and early Liliana. No, I'm not blocking. This doesn't do anything. This doesn't do anything. At least they can't cast spells. What are you doing? Oh, you're gonna give me green mana? You have counter spells. Disgusting. It won't work, though. The Voice of Victory, thank you. Voice of Victory. It's still swing at Liliana. It just doesn't make sense for me. You know what? No, here. Kami of Whispered Hopes, Colony Garden. Hey, I just met you. And this is crazy. But Colony Garden. I kill you, maybe? The +1 from this cancels out the halving of this. And I still get the counters. And if you're wondering, why not keep the plant and not the these that die? It's because I really want to kill the Liliana. And this guarantees her dying. Because of the Felothar trample. They just don't block any of it. So now I have a feeling that they'll try to, I don't know, replay various things, cause me some trouble. At least this will get me extra mana. They're not countering stuff on my turn. They're at least 1 mana away from Muldrotha. I'm still very terrified of this, though. Help! Call me a cucumber, dip me in brine? Because I'm in a pickle? Oof. You know it, Bouncing Cactus. You know. Alright, so Narset card advantage. Stop with the Planeswalkers. This came in, by the way, with double loyalty because of someone. Vorin Klex. Is this like a Super Friends Muldrotha? Because that's also Ren and Realmbreaker. Okay. Really? Okay. You don't increase damage. Play Hardened Bonds. Tommy. Swinging in. Everything at face. Sacrifice the Kami. Get a +1/+1 counter on each of you. Off by 2. I didn't do the math. But I also don't think it would make a difference. They can animate a land with that, or just make it so you can cast all lands and permanents from your graveyard. But, like, that's not lethal with the Virtue and the Inspector. At least I don't think it is. Oh, that is a mana drain. Okay, well, now I think it's lethal. Because, this doesn't resolve. And I can only prevent 3. I needed to be able to block an extra zombie. And death is imminent. GG. Loot, the key to everything. And far scarier than that, my opponent's name is MATLAB. Oh, I hated using MATLAB. I understand it's a program that's very helpful. You want to program math things. Between MATLAB and MathLab, used a lot of those in engineering school. I'm going to crack open this Marsh Flats, maximize my fixing, and grab a Godless Shrine. For turn 1, Novice Inspector. Next turn, Putrid Goblin. And turn after that, Felothar, Cutzel, or Abzan Falconer. All great choices. Loot is going to be putting cards in exile based on the number of types of permanents they have. And I don't know if I want to save the nowhere to run for loot, or just like obliterate this bird and play this goblin, maybe. I want to race. I'm playing the goblin. No, not Meth Lab. That's something different. This is MATLAB. So they've got some green. They've got some red, blue. Wait, they got a tapped land? I was like, are you going to play loot this turn? No? Could be a counter spell that they're holding up. I think a Tail's End is a great probability here. Do I want to play around it? I think I will. I'm going to swing in with both of these. Okay, interesting. Yeah, they fetched a tapped land over playing loot. Topiary Stomper getting more lands. If it was a Tail's End, they could have actually countered this ability. They didn't, though. Sacrifice and nowhere to run. Even though, like, it would get through that ward. Swing in with both of these. It paused on nowhere to run to enter the battlefield. Oh, I didn't catch that. Hello. Your ward. Once again reinstated. Hygam. Wait, but wouldn't you want this to be your second spell so you get like a token loot? No? Okay, that's cool. Everybody learn how to fly. The goblin's kind of free to sacrifice, but I want to maximize damage here, so I'm going to crack this clue. Felothar feeds it to the army, and everybody learns how to fly. I would get some card advantage if I played Kutzil, but bird. They have 3 life left. Their second spell will be exiled and recast in the future. It's an investment in the future. Chrome Mox. They can exile something from their hand if they want to get some more mana. Verb is the verb. What is it? All 3 colors. And they take an extra turn, and the extra turn spell is actually going to be duplicated and recast in 4 more turns. Okay, which if they are just gonna loop together extra turns, that's by the way what a bunch of Hygam decks do. That's part of why I haven't built them, because it feels really boring. It's just counter spells, some cantrips, and the like extra turns. It's fine. Maybe they'll play like so many fetch lands they'll just die to it. Escape shift. No landfall out yet. No land. You should chalk that in. Oh, boo. Boo, not chalking it in and dying. I can hope. And once again, an extra turn. Okay. If I double block here, I lose the flying, but I'm gonna be real with you. I think that they might end up chaining together so many extra turn spells that, like, whatever. Right now, Felothar's Trample's killing them, and if I get hit by that thing enough times, I just die. Okay. Landfall. A land that hurts. Tireless Provisioner can get them food. Lotus Cobra can get them more mana. The Lotus Cobra gets copied. It's a fake Lotus Cobra. They brought it at the bootleg store. I'm not planning on using Kutzil. I'm planning on trying to animate Restless Cottage. I would like to take a turn. In case you want a Lotus Cobra. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Tameo. Good news is they don't have any of the spells that like they'd be bringing back here. You only have... No, they have 3 mana here. It gets them 2 more mana off Lotus Cobra Snake. And maybe they'll use that mana to eat a food, I guess. I don't know. Puts them to 4. Can't think what I would eat. Restless Cottage. Everybody in. Cottage first. Munch up that Prismatic Vista. Eat the food. Feed it to the army. Everybody number go up. 2 is going through. They have to block everything. They will get another extra turn in 2 turns. But like, oh my god, just sitting here watching somebody take extra turns. and they die. Because they didn't want to lose loot. Nah, bro. You had to block. You had to die. Juri, Master of the Revue. Juri is going to be growing as things are sacrificed, and when he dies, he'll be dealing damage equal to his power. He's very fun to fling, because then you get to get that bonus twice. I have nothing on turn 1. Really good things on turn 2. And then I guess Felothar on turn 3. I don't know. Is this alright? Oh, look, a turn 1 plant. Howdy, Juri. Cursed Wombat. It's so funny that that's a card. Okay. It's an artifact. Why are you playing an artifact land? I guess there are cards that say sacrifice an artifact. But like Deadly Dispute and stuff. They get better if you're playing an artifact land. It also makes you more vulnerable to removal on your lands. No! Throat gophers. Dang. Okay. I don't really want to use Felothar's ability until I have slightly more things out. So I'm going to go for Marionette Apprentice. And I will fabricate a servo. No attacks. If you're not on Crowworm Tribal, are you really playing Magic? I'm glad they finally printed, like, a Worms card, but I think we should have more Worm typo stuff. So Juri sees them sacrifice a land, gets a +1/+1 counter. I bet we're running every single on-color possible fetch, because that's what I would do. And they shock in Blood Crypt. Accursed Marauder, I have to sacrifice my Marionette Apprentice. Juri grows. We need Worms, Lums, and Worms. Yes, I agree. And a Rot-Cursed Rakshasa. This is going to turn things into decay. When it goes into their graveyard, I'd like to hit it with this. I'm just like set up here. This can't block. It is decayed. And Vrim. Yeah, the place Jace is from. I'm surprised we haven't had a Vrin set yet. The story very briefly went there, though. So Wandering Constrictor and Cursed Wombat have very similar abilities. They're all these... Whenever one or more +1/+1 counters is put on this permanent, put an additional one. Triggers once a turn. This one's not once a turn. I'm not blocking. I will take the damage and hope for the best. I feel like Felothar should be able to sacrifice lands. Maybe I'm just jealous of, like, Thalia and the Gitrog monster. Which of these is the better card? Situationally. I would say Winding because it can do it more than once. Where do you get your Magic lore content? There's stories online. There's books that have been published. And sometimes there's just, like, blurbs. Okay, so Woe Strider lets them sacrifice Juri on demand. I thought Aetherdrift was going to go to Vryn. I'm the one who was suspecting that. Hello, Thor! Hi. Hello? Oh, yippee. Eat a plant? Get some counters? Counters cause more counters? But the counters are more. And I swing in. Loads of damage. This is why we're running lots of silly scales effects. Yes, my board is suddenly not just little guys, it's a bunch of big guys. They could still kill me next turn. I mentioned before, like, if they have a fling, it just doubles Yuri's damage. Right now, like, Yuri's dealing 5. Yuri could easily kill me next turn. Okay. Chthonian Nightmare. That is a repeatably sacrificable permanent. All right, let's see. What's the nastiest thing they could be doing here? A lot. Feels dead. All right, so let me see. Okay, so this can't block. Okay, yeah, that also just works. Yuri and Woe try to attack and then I die. They could have also done no Ghostfire last turn. Swing, swing, sacrifice, die. But they could make up to 3 things, I think, unable to block, so not much I could do there. GG, Yuri. Klement, Novice Acolyte in blue and white. It's always a white card, but you get to pick its specialized color. That is going to seek non-land permanents. Let you choose. Ooh. And the white, I believe, is lifelink, right? Yeah. When you cast a creature spell, it gets lifelink. Neat. I don't really know what to expect from them. So I'll just play my funky little creatures, hope I get a 3rd land, swing in, and I have my Critter Blossom in play. This is the first time I've actually gotten to cast this, so I'm very excited. I've cast it in Draft before, but it's not quite the same. I'll grab this Godless Shrine. And I decide if I want to do it pre or post combat. I will do it pre-combat, sacrificing Infestation Sage to get myself a flying creature and buffing them. Swinging with this. Make a spirit token, perfect for sacrificing. I'm very lucky that I got a 3rd land. Yeah, those fetch lands can really help you find what you need. All right, Klement. I don't know if you'd want to, I don't know, start tutoring for things here, but being a 3/4 isn't bad. Not good enough to block Felothar, though. Azorius colors, I should expect single target removal, some board wipes, counter spells. Those are very good things in these colors. They're making up their mind. No, not going for whatever that was. How about I try to play Lord Skitter? Nothing in graveyards to exile, but it spits out more tokens for me to sacrifice or buff. This rat is worth more to me than this spirit, so I will swing in with everything. Want to endure 1. And then sacrifice this rat to give everybody +1/+1. Junk. And a Fenza! With +1/+1, because Klement does buff everything when it enters. They didn't double block Felothar. They're letting Klement die, possibly to play him again and get that same buff. They're also going to get Endure! Ta-da! A spirit. Rasad can exile something and then specialize to remove abilities. You gonna take out a flyer? Nope, my commander, Felothar. I do not have removal in hand, so I will move it out from beneath Rasad. Wow, sure is white spells in my hand. I guess looking for Hangerback Assembler, since it feels like it does the most for me here. It starts my engines. I'll swing in with... Actually, do I want to swing in with Lord Skitter? Nah, I'll just swing in with these 2 in the air. And put a +1/+1 counter. Down to 6. Should be lethal in the air next turn. Speed is 2. and Phantasmal Image, going to make themselves a copy of a creature in play. They're choosing Sinkhole Surveyor, and it gets an extra +1/+1, because that's what Klement did. I'll play Felothar. She will enter. She will trigger. I will sacrifice this hang-a-back. And swing in with everyone. Make big. I love how this is lethal on its own now. I'm so happy I finally got to cast this card. It's an All-Star Unlimited, and it seems like it's pretty good in this deck, too. Bunch of stuff is gonna die. That dies in first striking. Anafenza is gonna live, but they are going to die. GG, Klement. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Brawl Stars. Felothar is pretty cool, but right now she feels like she's matching a bit above her weight. I cut a bunch of the games that felt very, very one-sided from the video, but like Felothar's matching into Helga and similar cards, probably because she's 3 colors and she's 3 mana. But unlike most other of those cards that are very strong and see a lot of play, Felothar requires you to build around her a lot. You need to have other things in play in order to sacrifice and buff, because if you just play Felothar, she's a 3/3 with trample. If you play her with one other creature, you can sacrifice it and she gives herself a counter. You need to have Felothar, other creatures, and other things to sacrifice to really get value out of this card. But this deck is aggressive. It can go hard, it can go fast, and it plays especially nicely with the things that can either be recycled repeatedly or get you tokens each turn. Like many Go Wide token stacks, absolutely put an Elspeth in here. She's great. Really fun card. And I feel like this deck, if you don't get the win quickly, it has a little bit of chance of coming back, but for the most part, you want to be getting those wins fast. You want to play your 1-drops, your 2-drops, your 3-drops, and kicking your opponent's butt. If you're looking for the deck list for this, you can see it in the description below. And if you'd like to suggest a commander for me to play, it doesn't have to be from Dragonstorm, because I've done most of those. Please let me know. I'm also revisiting some old decks while we get ready for Final Fantasy, which will have over 100 legendary creatures coming to Arena, which means I'm gonna have a lot of brewing to do. I might actually start brewing ahead of time. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a brawlful day.